So just to recap, I'm Marika Goolsby. I'm a former foster youth and adoptee. I was adopted out of the foster care system. I am 51 years old and just now strong enough and healed enough to talk about my experience in care. I wrote my memoir about my time in care, A Flower Called Orphan Girl. It is available in my TikTok shop and everywhere books are sold. Get your copy today. I believe it's the only way we are going to really change the system, by listening to folks that are in the system, that have survived the system. Some days I'm like, did I really survive the system? Or am I still surviving it? That's another day. But today we're talking about the money and politics around Hallmark syndrome. There's so much money involved in keeping Hallmark syndrome going, keeping people infected. And that needs to change. And I think it is kind of slowly changing. I read something just this morning. The research is being done about why these adoptive mothers are not having the experience that they thought they were going to have when they adopted. The biology behind the umbilical cord connection and the 9 months leading up to delivery, that the DNA, all of that connectivity that gets ruptured, and why you can't just transplant this kid to somebody else and think it'll just be an instant connection and everything will be wonder. It wasn't an instant connection with the birth mother. It took conception to 9 months and literally being joined together genetically. Like, there's so much to it we don't understand, that we just minimize. And you know what? I rewind. I take that back. The fact that there's so much to it that we don't understand is not 100% true. The information is out there. The research is out there. We do understand it. But it doesn't profit anybody to present that to the common person who's desperate for this experience. It doesn't benefit them at all. But if you stand to gain anywhere between 50 and 200K, they're gonna sweep that information under the rug and just like, oh yeah, it'll be wonderful, it'll be fantastic. Don't worry, you have a need, we got your solution. Here it is. So that's kind of what we're talking about today on Money and Politics Monday. The money that is to be made off of lies. Again. It just takes me all the way back. I can't even say not all the way so far, but just it takes me back to slavery and the lie of the happy, docile slave. They had to sell that Hallmark narrative for people to go along with it. Oh yeah, we're actually doing them a favor. We've saved them from the wild jungles of Africa and given them civilization and giving them humanity, because they were basically wild animals out there, and we give them purpose and they're happy for it. People believed that at one point and thought that slavery was a wonderful thing. Now that sounds absolutely ridiculous. But to me, that sounds just as ridiculous as this idea of taking this newborn and giving it to someone else, expecting the same type of connection and relationship to happen that took the bio mom 9 months to engineer. I'm waiting for the day to come that when we hear this, it sounds ridiculous. That people are like, that's ridiculous. To take this grieving child that's looking for its lifeline and give it to this desperate person who's wishing for something that they didn't get a chance to have, and put them together and expect miracles and magic. it's a setup. It's a setup for disaster by not telling this person, okay, what you want is this thing, but what you're getting is, and this is the closest you're ever going to get to what you want. You must tend to and comfort this grieving newborn who doesn't even understand what's going on. But they know for a fact if someone is looking for something completely different, they may not want to buy into that. Like, oh no, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm paying all this money for. All right, so let me see. I don't have any requests for the panel yet. No. Hey, Lekaboo, welcome in. So we have Exie, Nixie. Oh, Great Advocates, G7. I'm sorry, I cannot say the first part of your name. Oh, yes, I can. Fafo. I remember. Oh, my God. F around and find out. That's what I remember. Christina, Ian, Lekaboo, all welcome. Welcome in. So, yeah, we were just checking in with our team member C-Dubs, who has been absent dealing with a baby in the hospital and medical racism, which is a real thing. So, yeah, baby is showing signs of improvement, which is always a plus. But yeah, there's a lot there. And I feel for any mother that has a baby in the hospital. That is the most nerve-wracking, scary, painful thing to be going through. Especially if you feel like you're going through it mostly alone. All right. So yeah, what a lot of people don't know is, hold on, let me just check some stats. And I had, just to give you some stats to think about. The adoption and child welfare service industry in the United States is valued at approximately $31.4 billion with a B. The market is largely driven by government contracts and tax-exempt agencies. Through private, domestic, and international adoptions are also major contributors to its multi-billion-dollar scale. Billion with a B. And that is why Hallmark syndrome is pushed so hard. That is why the truth about it is swept under the rug so hard. Because there's so much money to be made. And whenever there's money to be made, you best believe people get political to keep the system the way it is, to continue lining their pockets, just to keep making money. People that could care less about families, children, babies, period, that prioritize their profits. It's not on accident. When, if you can find something that you can sell that people are desperate for and push others down to feel superior. Yes. If you can sell something that people are desperate for, there is money to be made. So the fact that part of Hallmark syndrome is this notion of the American dream, which for a lot of people is the American nightmare. But this notion of the American dream is that if I am a good person and I stay out of trouble, I go to complete high school, go to college, get a good career, and find my dream spouse, get married, we buy a house, we buy a car. The next step is to start procreating, making babies. And once we do that, we have achieved the American dream, and we can live happily ever after and be productive, contributing members of society. Right? So that's the life path of the American dream. Hey Nixie, welcome in. And when any piece of that falls apart, then I'm labeled a loser, a failure, all sorts of judgmental titles. And then I have to fix it. It's on me to fix it. And if I've done all the other things, and the only thing that I haven't been able to accomplish is the procreation part of it, I have to find a way. I have to find a way to become a parent, to check off that box of my long list of this is the American dream. Yes, hold on one second, Christina. I will check your stats. Thanks for asking. I have to find a way. Desperate to have this fantasy, to have what I thought I was going to have. And that is where I think predators are like, how can I separate you from your dollars? How can I get your dollars? Well, you have a problem, I have a solution. Except your solution is really not a solution to my problem. But if you make me think it is. All right, Christina's stats are as follows. Let's see. Okay, Christina has 3 comments, 100 shares, 1.1K taps. That is quality. Thank you so much for that. And that is how you access the panel. Bravo. If there's anyone else who wants, they are, and not just dollars. Say more, Lickaboo. If there's anyone else that wants me to read their stats, let me know. And once you are deemed quality, send a guest request so you can be able to access the panel, because I love to have a panel discussion. So let's get into it. 31.4 billion. Thank you for the populars. Yes, that does make a big difference in our popular ranking. $31.4 billion to be made. Billion with a B. That is the, that's what's on the line, basically. That's what they're trying to keep. Yes, they are hunting. It's true, it's true. It's so funny because when I was a teenager, many years ago, it was like, we need to do something about teen pregnancy. We need to do something about teen pregnancy. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. And then apparently what we did, well, I don't know. I feel like multiple things, multiple reasons contributed to teens getting pregnant less. Probably seeing what happens with their peers. Probably the children of teens growing up and realizing, you know what, I don't want that for me. My mama was a teen parent, so I don't want that. So teen pregnancy is actually down, which now has created, just like someone said in the chat, hunting. The hunt for these teen moms and impoverished moms. To keep $31.4 billion rolling in. Just rolling in. And the huge part of that is continuing to sell Hallmark syndrome. And more adoptees are speaking out about what that was like. I was reading this morning someone saying that their adoptive mother didn't want them. And someone actually coming back with, no, they never felt loved or something. They didn't feel loved or something like that. And someone put in the comment that, well, keep in mind she did really want you. And it's like, actually, she didn't really want that person. She really wanted the parenting experience that she was sold. And that, I think that's a huge difference. Let me see. Lots of teen moms are right, correct. They put clinics in low income areas on purpose, correct. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lekaboo. I love listening to you. Such an open perspective. Thank you. But yeah, I'm like, there's a reason adoptees grow up and say, I don't think my adoptive parents loved me. I don't think they wanted me. And people will say like, well, of course they did. They paid so much money for you. Of course they wanted you. But no, they didn't. There's a big difference in paying for what Hallmark Syndrome is selling. There's a big difference in, you know what, I wanted a parenting experience. I wanted a baby that looks to me and me alone, that loves me and only me, that is my mini me, that I'm going to be able to mold and teach, my family traditions. Yes, too many on the Kool-Aid, indeed. And then when you get this kid that is not at all what you imagined or hoped for, you can't then tell them, I wanted you. Because at the end of the day, you didn't. You wanted this experience. And I think that us as adoptees, without even being able to articulate it a lot of times, know this and feel this on a cellular level, which is saddening, depressing, and confusing. Yeah, so that's the thing that the common folks are starting to understand, which I think researchers have known for years. And the research, I believe, was done in a way, it's like, okay, if you really want to make money, you have to keep this part on the down low. You have to keep this part of it under wraps. Because if adoptive parents were told, one, you are complicit in aiding in this child's lifelong depression and longing, who would want to participate in that? And if you tell adoptive parents, you are taking on this level of sadness, depression, which can often come out as rage. It can come out as disconnect. It can kind of come out as shut down, difficulties bonding. And this is basically what you're paying for, is to be in a supportive role in supporting someone's lifelong grief. People are like, oh my God, that's heavy. That's a lot. I was just looking for a cute, cuddly little baby that's going to love me. Like, supportive role, trauma informed, helping someone learn to live with their lifelong trauma. Ooh, that's a lot. I don't think I want to do that. People would participate in it less. People would not want to participate in that. People would be like, I'm not paying my money for that. But if you tell people, you know what? You've always wanted to be a parent. You've always wanted this cute little person who looks at you with stars in their eyes. And the time is right for you. You've done all the right things. You are so deserving. Don't get me started on the entitlement. You are deserving of this experience because you've done all the right things. You've gone to college. You've got your career. You've met your dream spouse. You've bought the house. It's just this one little thing missing from your American dream. We have the solution. And you will live happily ever after. And people that are desperate, when you are desperate, you believe what you want to believe. You will hear what you want to hear. Period. All right. I don't know. Do people want to chime in on this or what? I'm hoping yes. All right, let's get our. I'll just invite some folks. Nixie's invited. Um, Ian's invited. Christina's invited. So super fans are invited first, and then I will check. Then I will check the stats of other folks just to see. Lekaboo. Okay, Lekaboo has 7 comments, 0 shares, 256 likes. That is what we call a quality engager in the making. Fafu has 2 comments, 0 shares, 0 likes. Okay. And then Kristen has, welcome in, 1 comment, 0 shares, 60 likes. Alrighty. All right, so yeah, there are 3 ways to access the panel. Those are, they all start with the Daily Heart Me. Get your Daily Heart Me, be a super fan. Boom, you're on the panel. Get your Daily Heart Me. Contribute to the live goal, and become the title gifter in the gift gallery. Boom, you're on the panel. Get your Daily Heart Me. Share this out 60 times or more, which is 1 good power share, and 1K taps. Boom, you're on the panel. So there's 3 ways to access the panel. I do like to have a panel discussion. When you're on the panel, 1 person speaks at a time. Everybody gets 10 minutes. No. And I do ask for a brief introduction, name, age, pronouns, and how are you connected to this community. Hey, Victoria, welcome in. All right, so we're going to start with Victoria is a super fan and about to get her Daily Heart Me. I just know it. Any moment now. All right, Nixie, did you want to chime in?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get your...
I'm 39. She, her, adoptee, former foster child, and now bio parent. Or should I say that the other way around? Because I was adopted from foster care. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think so.
It doesn't matter. I'm just being picky today.
Okay.
And you're right. I think that you were talking about the marketing that they do upholds the, oh my gosh, what is it called? The Hallmark syndrome, right? That's basically what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If I'm understanding correctly. Yeah, of course it does. Why wouldn't it? If they didn't uphold that Hallmark syndrome, they wouldn't make any money.
Right. I think they would still make money. It would be significantly less. It wouldn't be 31 billion.
I mean, I don't know if people found out, like if people really actually knew what all adoption does to kids. Like, I don't know that they'd make any money.
Yeah,
if people
sadly, there's people out there desperate enough that feel like I'm smart enough that I know how to do this in a way that, you know, there's always someone who's like, oh, it'll be different for me because I've got a maternal instinct like no other, and I'm a genius or whatever, you know.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah. And there's always going to be people that are like, oh, well, I've got money, so.
Right. It's not going to be like that for me.
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of the times they're like, well, I've got money, so I'm entitled to what I want in life. And that's part of the attitude that needs to change.
Yeah.
Because nobody's entitled to someone else's child.
Right.
I understand that there are bio parents that are not capable of taking care of their children, and I understand that there's always going to be the need for the safe external care. I get that, but like, that doesn't mean that anybody providing safe external care for a child is entitled to that child. But I think that people that tend to have an overabundance of money tend to have that entitlement, that they feel that they are entitled to someone else's child. And that's never, unfortunately, that's never going to go away, because usually people that have that much money to throw around think that they're entitled to most things in life.
And where does that leave the folks
Simply
that are like mortgaging their homes and taking out loans and doing GoFundMe's and like, I mean, I feel like they have a sense of entitlement too, like by any means necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're doing all that to get, and it sounds like I am talking disparagingly on people that cannot have children, wanting children, and I'm not.
Right, that's
because
not the thing.
When you hear me talking like this, you have to understand that I have PCOS. And I was basically told that I would never, ever conceive a child on my own. And that I was going to have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to do IVF in order to even have a chance of having children.
Wow.
Okay. So I understand the feeling of being told that you cannot have children.
Yeah.
However, when I was told that I could not have children, all that did was make me more determined to prove my doctors wrong. That yes, I can have children on my own. It is going to take me longer. It is going to take me more tears. It is going to take me losses, and I understand that, but I can do this on my own. I don't have to depend on someone else losing their child in order for me to have one. Because everybody would always say, well, if you can't do IVF, because I mean, IVF is so expensive. Like, they price people out of IVF all the time, and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because I think that everybody who wants children should be able to have children.
You know,
like,
I actually watched a documentary about IVF, and yeah, that's a whole separate. I mean, it's not even a whole separate thing. It's just like women who are going through these invasive procedures because they want it so badly, and then at the end of it are even more worse off than they were when they first started. It's just...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the money involved there.
Honestly, that was one of the biggest reasons that I did not want to do IVF. Say nothing about the fact that IVF costs anywhere from $10,000 to above for one procedure.
Right.
And that's just one procedure.
And that's just
so, like, if that doesn't take, then you either have to come up with that money again or give up. So, I mean, the money wasn't the only thing that talked me out of IVF. It was the difficulties of what I would do with any embryos that did not get implanted.
Yes, that is...
Like, what am I going to do with those?
Yeah.
Because part of me is, I don't want to destroy those embryos, but at the same time, that's my child,
Yeah, there's like whole custody cases over that when people get divorced, like.
Oh yeah, so like, I mean, there was a lot of different reasons that I didn't want to do IVF, but
yeah,
I never wanted to adopt. When I was a little kid, I was like, I want to adopt a kid, and then I started, as an adult, started going through what adoption actually entails, and realizing, where the problems are in it.
Wait, you did your research? You didn't just be like, I want this, and I'm gonna have it no matter what?
Right. I did my research because I was adopted.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what adopting did to me. I wanted to know what adoption did to my sister. I wanted to know what adoption took from us.
Right.
Before I figured out, before I decided whether or not I was going to do that to another child. And once I realized what all adoption takes from the adopted children, I mean, I decided, adoption just wasn't for me, because I didn't want to do what was done to me and my sister to another child. So I was like, yeah, we're just not going to go that route. But yeah, the Hallmark syndrome definitely attributes to, I mean, that's how the adoption agency makes their money.
Right.
You've got to sell the fairy tale, because if you don't sell the fairy tale,
yeah, who's going to participate?
You're going to lose a lot of your participants, and they don't want to lose their participants.
Yeah, they're customers.
Right. They don't want to lose their customers. Because at the end of the day, when it's all boiled down to it, adoption is a business. That's what it is.
Yes, 31 billion with a B.
And if we've learned anything about businesses in the United States, businesses are king. And money is what makes everything go round. So, yeah, they have to sell that Hallmark syndrome, and they have to make it look pretty.
Oh yeah. But you know what?
They have to make it look, huh?
The sad truth is, I don't think they have to try so hard, because desperate people hear what they need to hear and hear what they want to hear.
Nice to meet you. Can you tell me where I am? I don't know how I got here, but
all right. Hey, Victoria. So happy to see you. So yeah, we're talking about, so today is Money in Politics Monday. We're talking about the money and politics around Hallmark syndrome and why it's pushed so hard. I mean, I don't even think it even needs to be pushed so hard, because desperate people will believe what they want. So yeah, it's like, yeah. What was the number? Hold on. Let me look at that number again. 31.4 billion with a B dollars. It's a lot.
Adopt children out?
Say it again?
That people are adopting children out?
Yeah, $31.4 billion in the adoption and child welfare service industry. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Let's get your intro first. Let's get your intro, and then let me start your timer, and you can share your thoughts on and feelings on this.
My name is Victoria. I'm 44, and I am a woman, her, she, and I was an orphan growing up, and then I have kids got taken type deal. That's how I'm connected to this community. And then, what was I going to say? No, my question was, do they have quotas like the cops do? Like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, if they have, because, like, I was thinking about, so my son's birthday was yesterday, and I didn't want to be this sore person waking up or whatever, so I did all my crying after you guys left.
Oh.
But, yeah, because it's sad, because, like, they're fighting for a kid that they don't care about. And that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fighting against an adoption family. I'm not fighting against a foster family. I'm not fighting against people that generally care and love for him. I'm literally fighting against what you're talking about. The money, like, he's a dollar sign. He's money. So, that's the issue that I'm having right now. And I'm still trying to figure that out. You guys know that, like, I kind of contradict myself in a lot of things because I grew up in this system. So for me, like, in Kentucky, even though the system failed me, it hadn't failed me too in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, I got clothes every season. I may not had a mom and I may not had a dad and I may not had a family oriented household or whatever, but they gave me vouchers to get clothes when I needed. And growing my children up, that's hard. You know what I mean? That's hard to keep up with. And every time there was a season that came through, like they gave me a voucher, and when I grew up, my kids grown up, it was hard for me to buy them every season. So for me, like, I didn't have a mom and dad, but they financially supported me. So to me, that was like, they loved me, they cared for me. I told you it wasn't until I joined this group. Until I joined this group when I realized, like, oh, like, I was failed more than I thought I was failed.
Yeah, and that can be a hard pill to swallow.
It is, because, like, all these years I've been defending the government, and then the government has betrayed me now, and now I'm finding, like, all this different part of, does that make sense? Like,
yeah, because that's coming out of the fall. Uh-oh, hold on.
It's kind of like if you're raised one way and then you, like, go out, you know what I mean? I was telling you guys that with my story. Like, I went from one major thing to another to, you know, and now I'm an adult and I'm still trying to figure out where to go and how to do things and all that other stuff. Hi, Christina. But yeah, I have court today. Today is Monday, so I'm back in criminal court.
We're sending all the positive vibes your way.
Thank you. And it breaks my heart that, like, I hope my son blew out a candle for his birthday, but, like, the pattern of just this is that I told you this when you were telling me your experience of working at a group home. I was like, I didn't realize the levels. Remember we were talking about the levels?
Yes.
So I looked that up, and the reason why we don't get the experience that you guys get is because of that level of care. Like, you know what I mean? So if you would have worked in our level of care, you would know what I was talking about.
Yeah, it would have definitely been different.
You wouldn't have been able to hug them. You wouldn't have been able to do a lot. So, like, they just don't show affection or love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a pattern that, hi, twin, what's poppin'? It's a pattern that is just all so familiar and easy for the system to do. And I guess that's where I come in. I told you that's, I'm a little different. I'm trying to help mental health people.
Yeah.
Like, gain and keep custody of their kids. But I kind of contradict myself on that too, because not every one of us need that.
Yeah.
We need more support, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm still, I told you your group has opened my eyes on a lot of things. Like, I even thought that adoption was good. And so I help people now that, you know, are currently in adoption. So, like, you guys are showing me something different, I guess.
Good. It's always good to gain some new information, I think.
And when I did my own investigation for the people that have been adopted out that I know that were adopted out, they don't have good stories either, Marika. And I'm trying to get them to tell their story on with you.
Okay,
like,
I hope they do.
Yeah, because, like, they're barely coming out, and I'm like, how was your experience? And they're like, oh no, Victoria. And I'm like, that's weird, because you guys had the happy family. They were like, behind that scenes was not it. And it's sad because a lot of not to bring up race, but, like, these white families are just grabbing these black children and trying to raise them with their culture.
Well, it's cheaper. It's cheaper.
And not even, is that what it is? Because they're not even teaching them about their culture. So, like, in my experience,
Asian, right.
Yeah, and Asian, you're right, C-dubs. And Mexican.
And Latinx. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mexican, because I told you my experience. The foster lady put me in one of those like I'll never forget it. It was white and it had like the Mexican hat with the green and red. It was like a Mexican cute little fluffy thing. But when I put it on and came out, she's like, oh, she's like, it's my real live Mexican porcelain doll. I'll never forget that.
That's
and
weird.
So I was like, weird. Weird.
You're like, what?
No, but we don't know our culture. You understand what I'm saying? And like, I don't know how it was with you, Marika, like if they taught you your culture and your background, but they don't teach people their culture and background. Like, I'm 44 and I even told you guys, I'm still trying to figure out what race I am.
Right.
I got a birth certificate that says I was born on an Indian reservation, but I got this and this and this. So yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, C-dubs.
I have, what do you call it? I think she needs the community's help. She kind of inboxed. Yeah,
I know. She was on earlier.
Okay.
She was on earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, she kind of inboxed me the other day, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but I have a lot going on in my life right now, and if I pick up anybody else, and this isn't just UCW, this is across the board. Yeah, everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to neglect anybody. I'm not trying to whatever, but I am doing things in my life that I'm usually not doing.
Yes, like never before.
Yeah, like never before. And so this is a big change for me. And I'm facing things. Yeah, I'm facing things that I usually would backtrack on. And I'm not doing this time. Mm-hmm. And so to help other people or whatever in this situation, it's easy for me to get all your burdens and deal with you and forget me.
Yes, and you cannot do that right now. You
and I can't do that right now. I'm so close to the end of all this madness that I had to stay focused.
Yes,
and
do.
Everybody, I know C-dubs. I said across the board, I don't want anybody upset across the board. Yes, C-dubs was offering me money. I don't need anybody's money. I just need people to love me. I just need, and not even that. I just need like peace, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I just need, like my baby dad, all them, like I even had to tell them, like, I don't have the energy. My kids are over 18 and I don't have to do this with you. Like,
right.
I even,
baby daddy
so
drama,
no, with anybody. Like, across the board, I had to put these little things up because, and it's not you guys, it's me. It's easy for me to just be like, walk away from what I need to focus on and deal with you guys. And then I'm back to like, oh crap, I forgot this, I forgot that. And then I'm walking into court madness. As you guys can see, I'm not as, I'm a little bit more calmer now because I turned my phone off. I'm not crazy. I'm not my crazy frantic. I'm not sitting in front of the courthouse anymore. I got a room and I'm trying
You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm trying to refocus, reground, and redo this. I love you guys.
Love
Y'all have a best day. I'm getting ready for court.
Yes, check in with us later.
Yeah, I will. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks. Hey, Tina, welcome in. Nice to see you. So there have been a few changes since you were here last, Tina, and C-dubs for that matter. There are 3 ways to access the panel. I did make an exception for you earlier, C-dubs, because we hadn't actually started and I did want to hear from you. But the 3 ways to access the panel they all start with the Daily Heart Me. Get your Daily Heart Me and be a super fan. That's number 1. Number 2, get your Daily Heart Me, participate in the live goal, or being the title gifter in the gift gallery. That's number 2. Number 3 is the way you can access the panel for free by getting your Daily Heart Me, sharing this out 60 times or more, which is one good power share, and tapping the screen 1K times or more. So those are the 3 ways to access the panel. I am very happy that I was able to hear from you, C-Dubs, because I know you are going through a lot and you need the team support. So do keep tapping that screen. Get your Daily Heart Me if you can. Share this out. Those are things you can do for free to be able to access the panel. So reset, fresh start, all that good stuff, I think is always important. Okay, so super fan Christina, like I already know your amazing quality. I'm just checking your stats to go through the motions at this point. All right, let me see. Christina's stats are. Hold on. Okay, I was about to say, am I frozen? Okay, here we go. 7 comments, 106 shares, 2.3K taps. That is quality. That is quality. And I always recommend a power share. A power share is when you hold down the screen and you get a white box with a list of names. Hold on, let me do it again. And the word send next to it. And if every time you push send, it counts as 1. So in the power share, there are 60 shares. So click send going all the way down the list. All the way down the list. All right. And that's a good power share. And it's recommended that you do a power share at least once every 20 to 30 minutes. And what a lot of people don't realize is every time we get 10K likes, it puts us back on the For You feed. So more people get to join the conversation, and it makes for a richer conversation. All right. I'm doing a power share, lead by example. I'm a strong believer in that. Lead by example. I don't ask anyone to do anything that I am unwilling to do myself. So yeah, another way is by pushing this arrow and you see the circles. But the only thing is once you push like 15 circles, if you click send separately, it still only counts as 1, even though it's going out to like 15 people. So the power share is your best bet. All right. And everybody get a tapper. The tapper is available in our TikTok shop, Wildflower Essentials. So yes, we do have a TikTok shop called Wildflower Essentials. I think most of the things in there are essential. Okay, I have a situation with cats. One moment. Get out. Thank you. Okay. I was like, there will not be a cat fight underneath my chair. Absolutely not. All right, so thank you so much for the quality engagers that are in the room. Christina, are you available?
I am.
All right, let me get your intro and all that good stuff.
I am Christina. I am 34 years old. My pronouns are she, her. I am a former Head Start teacher. 3 of my nephews have been in the system, and 2 of them I had through kinship. So with, like, one thing I wanted to add and explain, with what Victoria was saying earlier, where she was saying she sees a lot of the times that, white families are adopting Black children or Latinx or Asian children, and they're not giving them their culture, and that is terrible, straight up. But one thing I can say, because I know someone who purposefully did this, she was out looking for the worst of the worst cases. And the reason being isn't because, they had more training or whatever.
it was because she knew that in the worst of the worst, there was more likely substance abuse going on, and that these kids were going to end up with some form of disability, which would pay more.
What?
So it was a target because your subsidy is higher if your child was born addicted.
Oh, wow.
If the child
That is horrible.
has any type of intellectual thing going on, in a lot of the times in lower income communities, which end up, I mean, we all
But
know.
addiction doesn't, looking for children recovering from substance exposure doesn't automatically equal that you'll have more POC children, because there's not more addiction in POC communities than not.
Right, correct. But a lot of the times we see that it's in lower income areas. And so targeting those, she would, okay. So all of her children have some sort of intellectual disability or something that they've been diagnosed with. Did she go to 1,500 doctors to get someone to finally diagnose them with something so she could get more money? Maybe. I mean, I don't know that that was totally her end goal, but it seemed like it. Also, they gave her an extra add-on to cash because these children were Black children, and that they paid her more because it was harder to place them in homes. So she sought out the worst of the worst cases, and also children of color, because the state would pay more because it was harder to place these children.
Okay, that makes sense, because they're harder to place. Not necessarily they had higher rates of substance exposure.
Yes, but that was a part of one of her key factors. And we see it in a lot of the times lower income areas in everything else. Michelle's here. Hope she's doing well. But yes, that is very much a thing. And they put these crisis centers in lower income areas, and they target low income families. They target the Black community. They target Latin communities, everything else. They put these mainly in places of people of color, so POC people, and low income areas. They are looking for the girl who lived in the trailer park her whole life and has now found herself in a situation where she doesn't know if she can raise this child. They put that, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they do, and they do it on purpose. Like, there is a purpose for everything. And it's all about location. They know that they can swindle somebody easier by pointing out all the obstacles they have to overcome.
Right. Fear mongering is what that is.
Yes. 10,000%. They know that that'll work. They've been doing it time and time again, which is terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It all does come down to money. And then when you have these agencies that are charging $300,000 per child, and they're going to say, oh, well, we had to house the children beforehand. We needed court costs. We needed this. We have to keep an attorney on retainer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it didn't cost that much, so don't lie to me.
Yeah. Like, I need to see receipts. I need to see some receipts.
Yeah. Yeah, what were they wearing? Gucci? No, they were not.
Gucci Pampers.
We all know that. We all know it all came from the Goodwill. Don't even.
Gucci Pampers.
But,
that's funny.
I mean, it's just like, okay, well, it's still, you can't tell me it was that much. I'm not going to say it's cheap to raise a child. It is not. I know.
No,
I have
not,
one.
but...
It's very, very, very I don't know what you mean, Natasha. Are you talking about the package I'm sending you? I was going to try to do that today. But, so, but like, it didn't cost that much, but then they can take that money since they are, what'd you say earlier, 31 billion or 33 billion, something like that?
31.4 billion with a B.
Right. So they can take that money, put that back in the legislature. They take that money,
Yes.
they pay off congressmen, they pay off senators, they
Yes.
pay off, you know, or some of these companies work privately with members of the Supreme Court. And so then we're like, oh, okay. You know, now they're in their pocket. They're like, oh, they were so great when we worked with them.
Right.
You know, or, you know, they've really helped because they put this money back into here. And it's like, no. That was pretty much a tax write-off just so they didn't have to pay the tax on that money. And, you know what I mean? It's just, it does all boil down to money and how they are getting more. And that, you know, it's sad because if you break it down and you really think about it, each child has a price. There's a price on a human life.
Yeah.
There is a price on a living child. And they cost this much because they have this hair color, they have this eye color.
Because people are desperate for it, is the thing.
Right. And then, like, I've even seen people who, like, sort out, like, they sought after, like, features that resemble theirs.
Yeah, that used to be a thing back in the days.
No one
That used to be a thing.
knew. That way no one knows.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what? It's like, so literally, it's like Build-A-Baby. Like Build-A-Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are targeting families and areas because they have these lists of these people that want all these features and everything else. And then they go around and they put these places up, these crisis centers, and they're not really crisis centers. And then they go, oh, well, we can adopt out your baby because they have a picture of the adopted the people who want to adopt.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, okay. And then they're matching it to each person that comes in a crisis.
Thank you for getting your daily heart me, Meg. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, oh.
But you know, that happens in foster care too, you know, and it's just
I know I couldn't believe that paper when I
right. When you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, when we were going through it and they were like, oh, well, we need you to fill out this paper. And I'm like, what is it? And they said, oh, well, you know, it's just like your preferences. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought they meant, you know, like trauma, whatever, what you could deal with, what you couldn't. It made sense at the moment until I started reading it. And it's like, what race would you like? And I'm like, whoa, what? I was like, y'all are just letting racists have these children? And they're like, well, we don't have that many foster homes. So you openly admit
that's just gross.
That you, what? Like, it was so dumbfounding to me. And it went to hair color, eye color. There was so many different things on that paper.
Yeah.
That you could fill out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. She goes, well, you could just write you have no preference. We like that when people write that. And I'm like, I bet you do, because you're like, oh, I can, you know, give you whatever case or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, why is it that? Why is it not more, okay, because are you willing to deal with a medically fragile child? Are you willing to deal with this? You know, like, what is your boundary line? Mm-hmm. It was all about what the child looks like, what the, you know, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Makes you sick.
It does. It does. Thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate you checking in and chiming in. We are going to keep this conversation going and flowing. I did see a question from, I believe it was Sarah Letitia, saying, what's the topic? So basically today is Money and Politics Monday, where we are talking about the money and politics behind Hallmark syndrome. Hallmark syndrome being this fantasy that of the American dream, that you can have the complete American dream, that if you are a good person and you do the right thing and you go to college and you get your dream career, you find your dream spouse, you get married, and you buy a home, the next step is to then procreate and have children. That is the American dream. Now, for a lot of folks, they do all those things and then they get to the baby making part and then it doesn't happen for them. And if you can't achieve the American dream, clearly you are a loser and something is wrong with you and you are defective, and this is a problem that needs to be fixed. And when you're dealing with that level of desperation, if you package it right, you can sell people just about anything. You have this problem, I have a solution. It's going to cost you this many thousands of dollars. So that's what we're talking about. And just like Christina was saying about how, with the industry being $31.4 billion with a B, look that up if you want to, then those dollars can then be used to manipulate policies, to make it easier, to make it legal even to sell children. And if you can't afford it, you can always just go through foster care and test drive a couple of kids until you find your dream kid and then, achieve the American dream that way. No one has to know, This is like the 50s when people really kept it. Nowadays, who even wants a man? Well, yeah, there's a lot of single women out there that, that just want the baby experience without the headache of a baby daddy. I feel like I used to be that person. Me, yes, test drive a kid is crazy. It's true. Me as a younger person in my late 20s, early 30s, thought I wanted to have this whole pregnancy experience and, wasn't meeting any partner that I wanted to marry or have children with. And I actually considered like, maybe I'll just do a sperm bank, That's a whole donor conceived. That's a whole nother set of issues. But I think commodifying family is the issue, is at the root of all of it. Commodifying families, adult babies. That's a real issue. And when people are desperate for this fantasy, they will see and hear what they want to see and hear. Okay, let me see. All right, I wanted to check some more stats. Whose stats have I not? Oh, Sarah Letitia. Let me check your stats because we would love to hear from you. Sarah Letitia has 2 comments, 51 shares, and 1.5K taps. That is very close to being quality. That is like, woo, just get your shares up a little bit more, and I would love to hear from you on the panel. Oh, and I see Meg. Hey, Meg. Sorry we didn't get a chance to connect last night. So yesterday was Storytime Sunday, and Meg got to share a portion of her story, which was very powerful and profound. And I feel for the folks that missed it. All right. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. That the money and politics behind Hallmark syndrome is huge. I'm working, so I can't join the panel right now. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much for being here. SC adoptee that pray to invisible men in the sky. Oh, adult babies that, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yes, thanks so much for the call. Time differences are hard to navigate. Yes, I was like, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, look what time it is. Sorry about that. But hopefully we'll get a chance to check in soon. But yeah, there's big money to be made anytime. If you have a product that people are desperate for, you can name your price. You can name your price, especially if you keep certain features about said product hidden. And I do appreciate more and more research is coming out about the Hallmark syndrome. But the research that I was reading earlier today, to me, is too nice. It's too forgiving. It's like, well, people don't know and people don't understand. And most common folks don't know, but I feel like the research has existed. And researchers have known as early as the 1940s about separation maternal trauma. So it's just not a new phenomenon. It might be new to some people because we have been inundated with Hallmark syndrome. Like, yeah. And not by accident. By marketing agencies getting paid top dollar to flood the public with Hallmark syndrome. And I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it again. It really reminds me of slavery, and how slavery was put out there that these wild savages were rescued from the African jungles where they were living like animals, and taught what it means to be human, and taught to be civilized, and given rules and structure, and they were so happy for it. Do your research. If you don't know, there was a time in history that's the way slavery was talked about, that slave masters were doing these wild savages a favor by saving them from themselves, and people really believed that and felt good about it. Like, oh, I think I want to get me a couple. I think I want to get me a few slaves and do this good thing. People really believed it. People really believed it. And if deep down I'm seeing how this person is making all this money and all this profit and living the good life that I want, and this is how they're doing it, of course I'm going to be quick to drink that Kool-Aid quick, fast, in a hurry. Like, oh, well, I'm actually doing them a favor. And this is the way adoption is talked about today. So this, in the same way that I imagine most people hear that slave narrative as who could ever believe that? That sounds absolutely ridiculous and crazy. I hope the day is fast approaching that this narrative of, if you could not have your own biological child, you can just adopt and have the same experience. You will bond, you will connect, you'll have this wonderful love like you've never experienced. I hope that is heard as nonsense. Because even the birth mother doesn't experience this instant automatic connection. It took 9 months to build, and being literally connected by their physical bodies to grow this connection. So why do we expect that we're going to take this baby from someone else and give it to someone that they never met, never knew nothing about, and it's going to be the same experience? Like, how does that make sense when it took the birth mother conception in 9 months to grow and engineer this connection? Like, that needs to be like, wow, people really thought that? That's insane. People really believe that, but desperate people will hear what they want to hear and see what they want to see. And people that stand to make the money know this. So I'm not going to tell you that this newborn is looking for its lifeline, and when they cannot find it, are devastated on a cellular level and having a no other way to put it, near-death experience of panic. How am I supposed to survive? My lifeline is gone. The day is fast approaching when people realize that is nonsense. To think that, it's like an extension cord. You just disconnect it and reconnect it over here. No, 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 no. Okay, someone got a request. Hopefully from a quality engager. Let me check your stats, SC Adoptee. SC Adoptee has, let's see, 10 comments, 0 shares, 35 likes. So your taps and shares are low. So keep working on that. I do want to hear from you. Either that, or you can just become a super fan right off the bat, or you can contribute to the live goal or become the title gifter in the gift gallery. So there. Those are the ways to access the panel, but I do want to hear from you. Lekaboo said birth alone is traumatic enough. Yes. Yes. And that's something people don't even often think about, because it's like, as far as we know, most people don't remember their birth experience. I actually have met one person for sure, but he tests in the genius level as far as IQ and was talking way earlier than most people. And he feels like he remembers being born. But most people don't. And because most people don't cognitively remember their birth experience, people think it wasn't traumatic. It was not a traumatic experience to be warm and comfortable in the womb, all your needs provided for, and then to be thrust into this new experience under fluorescent lights and masked people and sterile environment, and yeah, traumatic. Yes, on the first person they see. That's what it's like. What people often say about birds, like, don't touch the birds because they'll bond and connect and follow whoever touches them or something like that, and the mother will reject them. And that turned out not to be true too. Yeah, that if it goes well. If it goes well, right. So that's what we're talking about, the money in politics. There's money to be made, and whoever is making the most money tends to then use that to bribe officials to make laws to continue their money flow coming in, and that needs to be stopped. One way to stop that is by curing people of their Hallmark syndrome, treating people of their Hallmark syndrome. This is the experience of my ancestors, so this is why I always go there. But it wasn't until slave narratives started coming out that people were like, whoa, they're not happy? They're not living the good life on the plantation and feeling gratitude from being rescued from the jungles of Africa? No, we're being tortured. Like, how can you believe that? I just made a tuna casserole with mac and cheese and it's yummy. Oh, congratulations. I used to enjoy a good tuna casserole back in the days as a meat eater and a cheese eater. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. The money and politics behind Hallmark syndrome. Who benefits from keeping as many people as possible infected? If you are looking to adopt or not, voters need to be infected with Hallmark syndrome to be able to vote on certain things. Like even the time frame given to birth mothers when trying to decide do they want to relinquish or not has changed. Sometimes some places, sometimes it's 30 days. Within the first 30 days, you can change your mind. Some people want that extended. Some people want that shortened. 24 hours. Once you sign the forms, that's it. That's all. You don't get to change your mind. Like some people, say once it's finalized. That's it. That's all. You no longer can change your mind. But once it's like that, it's that before you sign, how long should that be? How long do you get to think about it? A lifelong decision for you and the baby. And that's also the same too. People vote on these time frames as far as foster care. The child is removed. Mother is told, if you want your child back, you have to do this, this, and this, and this. Does she get 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months? how much time is enough time for this birth family, bio family, first family, however you want to say, to do what they need to do to be reunited? How much time is too much time? Some people say if it's over a year, it's not fair to the child, and if you haven't gotten it together in that amount of time, you should just lose all parental rights and that's it, that's all. Some people say that's absolutely not fair because you're asking someone to change lifelong patterns in 1 year. Like, this person is 20 plus years old and you're asking for lifelong changes. Like, get your mental health under control, get your substance use and abuse under control, get out of your DV pattern in 12 months. And then you'll be able to parent and figure it out on your own. Don't look to me for any help or resources, because I'm just waiting you out to not get it together so we can finalize this adoption, because $31.4 billion with a B is what's on the line. And I say do your research. I love to just look things up, read as much as possible. Victoria said 6 months, 12 months is nice, but not what they do. Yeah, I mean, I'm fully clear that what is often stated on paper is not what feels like it's played out in reality. So on paper, bio family, they gave me 6 months before TPR. That is what you're supposed to change in 6 months. In this climate, it takes people 6 months just to find a job sometimes. What you supposed to change in 6 months? Oh my goodness. So in my situation, I believe my bio mom was given 12 months. I believe 12 months. I have to double check that. But if it takes you 3 months to find a job and to keep a job, and try to maintain that job, and then haven't saved enough money to even think about housing, plus go to a parenting class, plus go to an anger management class if need be, plus go to, all the little things, and you got to jam it all in the 12-month period or be TPR'd. And in Victoria's case, 6 months. So people that are not even in the system are voting on certain laws to be passed. I had to keep appealing it. Wow. Strongest mama bear I ever met. I know that much. All right, let me see. Has everybody in here, Fafu, I think that's how it's said, F around and find out, has not chimed in. I'm just going to check your stats. Okay, now I see why, but that's okay. And if there was an adopted mom or dad, I don't know if I would have won. Right. If someone would have stepped up and said, I want to adopt this child, it would have been a whole different ball game. It would have been a whole different thing, because that was definitely true in my situation. My foster parents were like, we want to adopt her, and they were like, oh, they look better on paper than this single mom. My mom was a single mom in college with baby number 3, which was me, working a part-time job. I was so scared that entire time. I know you were, because you're on pins and needles hoping that what they deem is a better option doesn't present itself, because you're like, I am the best option. I am the best option for my child. Period. Yes, because they tell you that if he found a family, I was out. Right. And you're like, but I am his family. That's like, what are you not understanding? I am his family. So if you just do a quick internet search on how much money is the adoption industry worth in 2026, the adoption and child welfare service industry in the United States is valued at approximately $31.4 billion with a B. The market is largely driven by government contracts and tax-exempt agencies, though private, domestic, and international adoptions are also major contributors to its multi-billion-dollar scale. Billion with a B. And that number is only going up. That number is only going up because teen pregnancy is down. More low-income people are figuring out ways to be able to keep their children to parent. So that number is going up because it means it's harder to get the product to sell to the buyer. The price always goes up. Let me see here. What gets me is someone who is a victim is she did the same as the perpetrator. I think I know what you mean. I think you're saying, and let me know if you want an additional 5 to clarify instead of me trying to guess. Because I was too late with that 6 to 12 month time frame. Yeah, the time frames need to be changed for sure. And the anxiety that produces, I'm sure. Like, oh my God, I gotta get it together. No one can be successful under that level of anxiety. Under a time clock, a ticking clock that says, you lost. Like mental health system now. No, when I won that hearing, mental health came in, and now I'm fighting the mental health system now. Right. It's like you're getting jumped. You beat one opponent, and then there's this one from this side, and then there's this one from this side. Yeah, it's like 1 against 3 or something. Oh, Christina wants an additional 5. All right. What's up, Christina? You got an additional 5.
Oh, I was just saying that a lot of times women who are victims of either DV or other situations, or even some men, they're often treated as if they were the perpetrator.
Ah, got it. Yes.
So, like, you have a situation of where, someone was, you were in an abusive situation or anything else, and then they treat the person who was the victim. They're like, oh, no, you're the one who did this. And it's like, no, I didn't. I was just as much of a victim as the children.
Right, I get you.
And I don't feel like there's like enough research or anything else that goes into that, because oftentimes, in cases of like Darvo, where, you've been abused for so long.
Okay, have a good day at school. See you later. Hurry, Dada's waiting. Oh, your hair is so cute. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye, Squatchy Cat.
Have a good day at school. Sorry, that was my granddaughter leaving for school.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So like you take cases of Darvo, which is reactive. So what happens is, it's like a dog that you put in the cage, and you keep poking them with a stick. Eventually the dog's going to bite the stick.
Bye-bye.
Eventually everyone's going to snap.
Yes.
Everyone has to break it. And then you're recorded as being the aggressor, and then they're like, oh, well, you're the aggressive one. And it's like, no, that was because of this, and there's not enough research in all of it to actually, understand the psychology behind it, or they just don't want to. They often don't want to. They don't understand fight or flight. They don't understand the survival in it all and why some women stay in that.
But you know what?
In their own way, they're taking on 10 times more to actually protect the children. And that way the children aren't suffering at the hands of the person who's making them suffer.
Right. And you know what? I'll have to respectfully agree to disagree, because I think it is known and it is understood, and that is used to get what they want. It is known and it is understood.
Right. There needs to be more put into this, though. There needs to be more thought put into it. Like, they oftentimes just brush it under the rug and want to say that you're the one who's in the wrong because you didn't do right in that situation when you were in a fight or flight mode. You couldn't think. You couldn't do anything. I mean, and there is more research being done on reactive abuse, and it's becoming more known of what happens, but it's often ignored because they're like, well, no, you could have got yourself out of that.
Yeah, with what help and what resources? Mm-hmm.
Right. And they don't offer that. And it's oftentimes that the victim is often looked at as the perpetrator. Like they're the ones who did everything, and it wasn't true.
Yeah.
And I feel like there needs to be more put into that, and there needs to be more resources for that they need to be offering and actually helping people, as opposed to cutting them down, because that's part of the reason they don't leave.
Yeah.
Is because of the stuff you're doing right now. Oftentimes that's the reason people don't leave. Because they know it's not going to be any better. And at least in this situation, they still have something that maybe they can make happy in their head. Even if it's totally made up.
Yeah.
Even if it's unrealistic and that's really not what's going on, they can live in their own fantasy of protection. And in their bubble, because you do things like this.
Yeah.
Because of the money aspect and everything else, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
the money,
it's just,
the money. Always follow the money trail.
It's just wild to me half the time how the victim is often seen as the perpetrator in these scenarios.
Yeah, or at least they just want to say that they're implicit in it, in some way, you know, like you contributed in this way, you know, and it's like, what? Yeah. But thank you so much, Christina, for chiming in again. Jack, who is Jack, saying, can you follow me? I don't know. I don't even know who you are, Jack. Let's be good friends. Jim, Jack. I guess this is a person that works out. All right. I don't know. Maybe. Participate in the conversation. And then maybe. DV is such a multi-layered issue. Yes. Facts. So for the folks that are new to the room, my name is Marika Goolsby. I'm a former foster youth and adoptee. I was adopted out of the foster care system. At the age of 51, I'm just now strong enough to have written my memoir. It was published this year. It is available in the TikTok shop and anywhere books are sold. It's the only way we're going to get to the heart of the problem and to change it. There are a lot of people that are invested in it not changing. There are a lot of people invested in keeping the system exactly the way it is because it works for them. We're talking about an industry that is worth $31.4 billion as of this year, with those numbers climbing steadily. A lot of people are invested in it staying the way it is because it keeps them very, very, very rich, wealthy. So yeah, that's what we're up against. All these marketing dollars that keep pushing Hallmark syndrome out there. Hallmark syndrome for, you know, people that want to become parents, as well as people that think, oh yeah, that makes sense, of course. You know, of course you should be able to buy another person's child, even though they would never phrase it that way. Of course you should be able to have access to whatever you want in this life, whatever you can afford. And if you're a winner, you can afford almost anything. But if you're a loser, not so much. These are the things that we are fighting against, to get people to snap out of it. Wake up. Snap out of it. You've been infected. You didn't just accidentally get infected either. It's on purpose. You were exposed and infected on purpose by the people that stand to make $31.4 billion with a B. All right, so every Monday we'll be talking about money and politics as it pertains to foster care and adoption. This thing is multi-layered. Okay, this is layer upon layer upon layer. All right, so we will be ending in soon, just as soon as I read our stats. All right, so let me see here. I do want to read our stats. All right, the stats of the room are as follows. We're at 58K taps, bravo. And we have 7 people in the room. Our live goal, no, hold on. I was trying to see our ranking. Our league, I believe, is, C5 in the top 99%. And where are we again? We have 788 shares. Oh, Christina, thank you so much for getting the title gifter of the finger snaps. Yes. That definitely helps to boost our ranking. We've been live for 2 hours exactly. We've had 134 views, 1 new follower, and 11 gifters. This live has made 46 cents. If I can get 4 people to disconnect and reconnect, that would be awesome, because that will count towards gaining followers every live. So that's important. It won't mess up your ranking in the room at all. So feel free, disconnect and reconnect. Some people say, don't love me and then love me again. That would be helpful. And everybody get a tapper so you won't be dealing with flat thumb syndrome. It's in our TikTok shop, Wildflower Essentials. All right, so bravo to everybody that is here. Marika Goolsby, former foster youth and adoptee, talking all things foster care and adoption on a daily. Twice a day we are live. We are live 6:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be continuing this conversation at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hope you can come back and join if you did not get a chance to chime in. Hopefully you'll get a chance to chime in a little bit later on.